I don't like the fact that he has copied so much. Having said that, I still prefer Pathan because... Hi, it's me, Elisa from Germany, and today I will talk about Shahrukh Khan's new movie, Jawan. First, I will talk about the plot, then I will talk about the critical sides of the movie, or a little bit negative, and then about the positive. And I will tell you at the end what I think about this movie. Okay, first the plot. The movie is about Assad, who is leading a double life. On the one hand, he's a jailer. He's the director of a female prison, and he's a very good director. He is helping the women to learn how to work and how to be independent. And he's also empowering the women to be happier, to be stronger, and to have a better life. And on the other side, he's a vigilante. And he has got a female gang. And together, he and his, I don't know, five or six women goes on missions. They all go on missions and they do something. I will tell you then later what they're doing. The goal of his life is to restore his father's name. His father's name is Vikram Rathore, and in 1985 he was accused of being a traitor of India, but this is not true. He was a soldier, and he has discovered that the weapons were not good, and then he fought against the weapon dealer, and later they did something so that he was trapped and that he was accused of being a traitor. And that's what the people remembered. He was also killed, and his wife was put into prison, and in prison she got their son Assad. And now this Assad, 30 years later, is a director and a vigilante. Nobody knows about the fact that he's a vigilante. Everybody thinks that he's only the jailer of this very wonderful prison. Okay, that's the story. And now I will talk about the critical points, because I cannot say that they are super duper negative or something, but for me personally, they're critical. First point, this movie, in my opinion, has copied a lot of scenes and a lot of situations from the Spanish Netflix series Money Heist. In Spanish, it's Casa de Papel. And I will give you some receipts so that you can believe me when I'm saying this. Okay, first, in Money Heist, the professor and his team are kidnapping a factory where they are making the money of Spain. And they are kidnapping old women, people who are working there, a school class, and so on. And the same is happening in Jawan. He kidnaps subway wagon full of different kinds of people. In the Spanish series, he talks to a female police officer and asks her on the telephone, "What are you wearing?" And which is a little bit strange, because when you are talking to the police officer, you don't talk like this. And in Jawan, he talks to a police officer, a female police officer, and he tells her to sing a song, which is also a little bit strange. So there are similarities. The next thing is that there is a situation in the Spanish series where the police is entering and they want to capture the kidnappers, but everybody is wearing a mask. And so the police cannot discern who is the kidnapper and who is the hostage. In Jawan, they give masks to everybody, leave the train, and the police cannot see who is the kidnapper and who is the hostage. Next, the police officer, the female police officer, ends up being part of the gang. In Jawan, the female police officer ends up being part of the gang. And last but not least, the kidnapper in the Spanish series is motivated by something which happened with his father. And in Jawan, the kidnapper or the vigilante is more motivated by something which has happened with his father. So you can say that these are circumstances and how do you say, coincidences. No, in film business, I don't believe in coincidences. I have looked at the age of this director. He's 34, and I'm sure that he has watched the series on Netflix. So for me, it's not a problem because he's done a good job, but I don't like it when you copy so much. So that's only my opinion. I don't like the fact that he has copied so much. Okay, next point. Number 2. Aishwarya Rathore, Vikram's wife, played by Deepika Padukone, is on her way to being executed, and then she faints, and then a nurse takes her pulse and says she's pregnant. This was so funny that we started laughing in the cinema. I mean, I don't know why he has done this, but I have never heard about this kind of detecting if somebody is pregnant or not. So it is not a horrible thing, but it was a little bit strange. Next point, Vikram Rathore's situation when he was nearly killed. He was in a plane, and the villain shot him 4 or 5 times. Here, and he didn't die. Then he fell from the airplane 30,000 feet or 40,000 feet, like this, jump. And he fell into the water, and he didn't die. And I found this a little bit exaggerated because I have got a house in Croatia, and when you jump from I don't know, a rock, and then you don't fall down how you have to fall down, you have to fall down like this and not like this. It is, you can hurt yourself, and from 30,000 feet, it's a lot. So I think the script writer has exaggerated a little bit. Okay, then next point, little girl. The scene with the little girl was very, very nice. She's a very nice girl, but they talked, Assad and the policewoman talked, I don't know, 1 minute, and then they decided to get married. I don't know how Indians work. Perhaps they decide very fast to get married, but in my opinion, it was a little bit too fast. And the last situation was Sanjay Dutt's cameo. It was very, very funny. I laughed a lot, but the scene was also a little bit strange. He wanted to check whether there were landmines. He took some pebbles, threw them in the air, and all around him, there were a lot of explosions. And I laughed a lot. I don't know if this was on purpose, but I laughed a lot, and it was a little bit strange. So you can see these points are not so horrible. The only point that I didn't like was this copying, but it's okay. So it's not so bad, but if you're a really, really good script writer, perhaps you can take care of these kind of things. Now I will talk about positive things, and a lot of things in the movie are positive. The first thing which is super duper positive is the Shahrukh Khan entrance scene. As I have told you already, he was shot 5 times and nearly died. And then some people somewhere in the mountains, they rescued him. And 6 months later, he was still lying on a bed and looked like a mummy. And then somebody attacked this village, Chinese people. I don't know if it was very good for the Chinese market, but it's okay. So some Chinese soldiers, they came and were very, very brutal. And then suddenly rose from the dead, and then he came on some kind of hill, and then there were lightnings. It was great. It was so great. The whole cinema went berserk, and everybody took out their mobile phones and started to photograph Shahrukh Khan. This entrance scene was really, really good. I must say to the director, well done. The second thing, which was absolutely great, was Deepika Padukone. She has only got a small role in this movie, but it was absolutely great what she did. First of all, the scenes between her and Vikram Rathore were wonderful, very, very romantic and authentic. Really, really nice. I really, really loved it very, very well. And the second thing was he went to prison because she killed 2 men in self-defense. And then they said, now you have killed these people because you're a murderer. And they sentenced her to death. And she was in this prison and got this baby because she was pregnant, as I've told you earlier, and it was wonderful. She was a mother, she raised the child, and I thought, great. And I thought, Deepika, you should think about getting a baby, because she looked so nice as a mother. I have never seen her as a mother in a movie. Yes, I have seen her in Bajirao Mastani, but in this movie, it was great. Okay. Next thing, the vigilante flashbacks. The girls in prison have a reason why they have joined the vigilante gang. And I will give you 2 examples of 2 girls who have joined the vigilante gang. The people thought that these were only criminals, and the director showed us that they had a reason to become a vigilante. First vigilante was the farmer's daughter, and we watched a flashback. Her father couldn't pay the loan, 1 installment on the loan, and a person came and took away his tractor, and he also humiliated her father, stripped away his clothes, and he was naked, and he was humiliated in front of the whole village. And then he killed himself. He hung himself on a tree. And I cried in this situation because it was really, really good. It was, I know that there are farmers in India who commit suicide because of the situation in India with some American companies and other things that happen with the farmers. And it was a really good motivation to become a vigilante. And the second flashback was of a doctor. She was a female, she was a woman, a doctor who worked in a hospital. 60 children were brought to the hospital, and they had some kind of illness, and she couldn't help them because she didn't have the right equipment, and they died. And then they accused her of being responsible for the deaths of these children. And then they also said that she has taken drugs. And so now in a vigilante stunt, they made the Minister of Health go to the camera and say that it was his fault and that she was innocent. And they had to put equipment in a lot of hospitals all over India. This was what the vigilantes asked, and I found this very, very nice. This idea was so good, and they showed an old man with air conditioning, and he put on the air conditioning, and it was very, very nice. I really liked this, and there were many other scenes. So this was very intelligently done, and I'm very happy that I've seen this. Okay, next there was Assad's speech. So at the end of the movie, he takes off his mask and tells the people who he is. Talks about the injustice which has been done to his father, and tells the Indian people that they have to vote and how important it is to vote, so that you get the politicians that can do the right things. And he said, don't only vote, but decide who will do something which is important for you, you know? And I really like the speech. Normally, I don't like the speeches in Bollywood movies because sometimes they are artificial. For example, I didn't like the speech in Verzara, even though I love this movie, but I didn't like the speech. But this speech was really, really good. And some of us in the movie clapped at the end of the speech because it was really, really good. And I think it was a speech for the Indians in general. So as if Shahrukh Khan spoke also, not only Assad. So I love this speech. Okay, and now I will talk about Shahrukh Khan's performance. Sometimes people in Germany think that he's only a romantic actor and that he can do this, there is this Shahrukh Khan movement. And I know that he can do more, but in this movie, he has really shown how versatile he is and that he can do all kinds of characters. I will give you an example. As the kidnapper, he played a crazy, bold kidnapper in the subway. It was so funny. He was like the Joker in Batman, but in some kind of a Shahrukh Khanish way. So it was really, really good. And I thought, really, really good. I really loved it. Then he played the young Vikram Rathore and the old Vikram Rathore. I personally prefer the young Vikram Rathore because he reminded me of Major Ram in Main Huna. He was a soldier who was patriotic, serious, and who fought for his country, and with good morals. And I liked him a lot. And Shahrukh Khan played him in a serious way, without exaggeration, like a real person, not like a, I don't know, some kind of actor, but he was Vikram Rathore. And later the father, Vikram Rathore, emerged 30 years later as an old man. And he was also very good. The people went berserk when they watched this old Vikram Rathore because he was cool. He smoked a cigar, he listened to music, and he was riding his bike, his motorbike. He was super duper cool. I personally thought that the change of character was strange and nobody has explained it. But for the audience, it was good. For the others. Last, he played Assad, the son, and he was shaved so that we would see that it is another person. This was the personality I didn't like so much because I felt as if they had made him younger with CGI. Perhaps I'm wrong, but it looked as if somebody has made him younger with CGI, and sometimes it looked a little bit artificial. Okay, that's from Shahrukh Khan. Very well, very good job. As a teacher, I would give him an A+. It was really, really good. Okay, next scene. The Sanjay Dutt cameo scene was so good. It was so funny. I had a man next to me, and the two of us, we were laughing and doing like this. It was so funny. So Sanjay Dutt's scene was really, really good. I'm happy that he was there in the scene. And also the scene with the little girl who tried to find a father for herself, and she wanted Assad to marry her mother. And she was so cute, like Anjali in Kuch Kuch Hota Hai. And the dialogues were very good. So very, very good. And now I will talk about the villain. He was okay, but I prefer, for example, Ranveer Singh in Padmavati. For example, he's much better as a villain. And Jim in Pathan. So he was so good. He was okay, but he was not breathtaking for me, but for other people, perhaps. Next, there was Zinda Banda. This was a prison song. And why did I like this song? Because it was full of life, and in my opinion, it was a song which showed how Assad would motivate the women to become better persons, to live a better life, to be happy even though they are in prison, and to follow their dreams, and yes, to be strong and happy and healthy. And that's why it was a very motivating song. Perhaps they don't use these words in the song, the lyrics, but that's what it seemed to me. Last point is the messages. Normally, I'm not a big fan of messages in movies. Sometimes yes, sometimes not, but normally not in some kind of masala action funny movie. But I must say that in this movie, they were really good. And yes, for example, the problems with in the agriculture with the farmers, women empowerment, corruption, health system, voting problems, and so on. They have talked about a lot of subjects without being preachy, in my opinion, and in a very intelligent way. I really, really liked it. And I thought that they have done a very, very good job with all this. So that's all from me from this movie. All in all, I loved this movie. It was a really good movie. I watched it twice because I didn't understand everything after watching it one time, because I have to read the subtitles, and sometimes there were a lot of things in this movie, and that's why I had to watch it twice. It is a very rewatchable movie. You can watch it several times, and I will give it an A. Having said that, I still prefer Pathan because I don't know. I like the villain in Pathan, Jim. He was so sexy, and he was also frightening. And yes, but this is a good movie. This is a really good movie, and I'm happy for Shahrukh Khan that I think it will be a blockbuster. Today, on the 13th of September, he has already gained 640 crore, and it will be even more. So if you haven't watched Jawan, watch it and decide whether you like it or not, and whether you think that the messages are interesting or not. But for me, it was good. And I talked to a friend of mine, and we were discussing a lot of scenes. And this is also a sign that the film was interesting, because we were laughing and discussing and mentioning scenes. And this only happens if you like the movie. So, my dear friends, that's from me, Alisa from Germany. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell. And we will see next time. Bye-bye, and God bless.